Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So I'm reading for Thursday and it's kind of a collective message. This whole set of readings is kind of one ongoing story, but it's seen through different lenses. It's like, how is each sign experiencing the current energetic story that's going on? And oh my goodness, Cancer, are you ready for this reading? Like, prepare yourselves, because the story that's coming through for you, like, it's biblical. It's biblical is what I'm going to say. So how it actually plays out on a personal level, I don't know, but you're getting all this creation energy coming through. Aries definitely had a little bit of this. I'm definitely seeing a tie-in with Aries' reading, but you're experiencing it in a different way. So what I'm kind of seeing here is the same how do I explain this? So things come through as metaphors and colours to me intuitively. And Aries had this whole thing about like the white on the inside. So if you imagine a ball, and the way it's coming through in your reading is the sun, right? So the sun in the sky. And it's like, if you look kind of at the sun, I mean, don't look at the sun because it's going to hurt your eyes. And I think that's part of the message too. But it's like, it's kind of gold, right? So it's like the surface of the sun is coming through as literal, like gold. Like, I mean, we know scientifically it's not that, but through the imagery and the intuition, it's coming through as like gold dust is the way it's coming through. And then inside where it's hot is like this big ball of like white light. So pure, brilliant white light, gold dust around it. And the gold dust in Aries' reading was coming through as, so the white stuff is like the fabric of creation. It's like what everything is made of, this kind of brilliant bright bright white light energy. And then the gold is like how we see it. So it's like we can't see pure white light, right? It's constantly in the air, but it makes things visible to us. And it's like, to be visible to us, it has to be made out of whatever the gold material represents. So it's like when something, because the gold is representing things that are tangible, like things that we can pick up, things that can become solid. And so you can kind of see here this big ball that's kind of coming through. That's representing this this sun energy, this creation energy, the pure potential, and then the manifestation of it, the reality of it, represented by the white and the gold. It's also coming through. So, oh my goodness, how do I explain this? I'm going crazy because the synchronicities I've been getting for your reading, like everything is in the cards, and it's amazing to me that I can experience something through meditation and then it comes through in the cards. So in this meditation, I was playing around with this energy, another energy. Oh, how do I explain it? It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. So sometimes I was in the white light energy, right? Sometimes I was in, excuse me, bit rude. Sometimes I was in like on the surface of the sun, and I was kind of putting my hand through this like gold dust like this and playing with it and manipulating it. And now you can see this in this card here. So this card, right, I'll get into the cards a little bit more in a minute. I need to kind of explain the intuitive stuff first. So you can see kind of how she's almost holding this kind of like gold dust. It's literally what I was getting in meditation, and then it's in the cards. And you can see here it's like this person here, this person on the mountain. It's hard to see, I think, on camera, but it's almost like there's all these lines coming down from the sun, and it's talking to me about this person's bringing in this stuff. It's like they're manipulating, like how I was in the meditation, manipulating and playing with this gold dust. So if you imagine gold dust, it's very, very fine, and if you imagine you're in space, there's no gravity, so it's literally just playing with it like this, right? And like this card here, but instead of it being like blue and white, it's the surface of the sun, and it's gold, like literally gold dust, and just like playing with it and swirling it. So it's amazing that it should come through in the cards. And then it was kind of like starting to cling to me, and what I could find is I could get this gold dust and I could actually paint myself with it. So like gold paint, yeah. But then it kind of turned into like almost like gold leaf, or like it was like gold silk, and I started to be wrapped in this gold silk, which felt very nice, right? It felt very almost like it was cocooning me or comforting me or blanketing me. It was like wrapping me in this gold, but at the same time, almost instinctively, I felt like I was being trapped. And so because when I'm in meditation, not physical, right? I'm also made of dust. Everything got porous, and I just shot straight out of it. I was just like poof, straight through this gold that was trying to wrap me up. And so again, instinctively, because it was like, I have to shake all this gold off me now. I know, like it sounds absolutely bonkers, but it's just, sometimes I go on these meditation journeys and it's just like a very vivid dream where things are happening to me, but it also have autonomy in it. So sometimes things happen to me, and sometimes I think, right, I'm taking back control here and doing what I want to do. So I basically shot out of the sun very, very fast, and because I was moving so fast, it kind of caused the gold to kind of drop off me and shake off me and be left behind. So then I was kind of like in this floating through space energy. I found myself back out in kind of the black and sparkly bit of space, like deep space, if you will, and just kind of floating. And then the music that I was listening to, I should say as well, there could definitely be something about bells. I don't know if you're hearing bells ringing. I got this impression, or like wind chimes or something like this. I don't know if it's like something that you use as a sign, like if you've got bells or wind chimes or something like that in your house, it's like when you hear the bells ringing, it's a sign that there's a presence there, perhaps like your ancestors, your guides are visiting you. That could be something for somebody, or you're just hearing bells ringing. But then there was this different tone in the meditation music I was listening to, and it was very deep and it was very ominous, and it just felt like there was something. The birds are very chatty today. I don't know what that is. Is that the crows? That's the crows, as I'm talking about ominous things. Yeah, they're all on the rooftop opposite. So yeah, there's something. The crows act as like a bit of a warning for that kind of energy. So this thing that was also in space, it was like I couldn't see it, but I could sense it, right? It was that feeling of like an ominous presence. And I was like, I don't want to draw attention to myself. Whatever that is, I'm going to kind of make myself invisible so it doesn't notice me, was the way that I was dealing with it in the dream. And so I made myself like camouflaged basically, with the stars. So I became transparent and sparkly, and so that I would blend in with the sky. And it's here in your card. So can you see here, like this is what I was seeing, this and literally this card. So specifically, like when I was started meditating, I was seeing this card. So it's like being made of star stuff, being made of the universe. It's literally what I've got in my notes for you. We are made of stars. Meditation pose, human figure made of stars, bells, Starman, David Bowie. That was what I got through for you in meditation. And then it's like, so it's like this spirit form, right? So yeah, becoming invisible and blending in with the environment to not be noticed. And I can't believe it's just here in the cards, like the exact card that I was seeing, and it came out for you. So yeah, this ability to use the darkness or use the void to hide, but using the light and the kind of gold. So the white light creation energy, and the gold solid tangible energy to be visible. So do I want to be coated in this gold and visible, or do I want to shake it off and be transparent and be part of the atmosphere and go unnoticed, like go recon or stealth mode, right? To keep myself safe from the ominous presence that I was seeing. And I want to say that the ominous presence is also showing up. So you can see it here with the gold, right, which is representing the sun with the white creation energy inside it, and then this other energy, it was coming through to me. It was almost like this like the Death Star is like I can sense the Death Star is somewhere in this orbit, so I need to hide and not be noticed, right? I need to sneak past or sneak away, was the way it was. So I was very carefully moving and just gliding unnoticed through space. But then I found myself going back to the sun energy. It's like back to play. And when I went back in it, because I went through it in such a speed, it refracted that white light into colors, and then I started to play with rainbow light, right? In the same way that I've been playing with gold, I started to play with rainbow light, and it's in the cards. It's here. So again, like, just I'm shocked that what I got through in meditation is actually here in the cards. I'm not shocked, but I am reassured and excited that what I received in meditation is also coming through through in the cards, because it's like a huge confirmation for me. So intuitively, something that I've been getting, like with this Starman energy as well, We Are Made of Stars, Starman, it seems to be, that specific song seems to be coming out a lot. I've heard it for the 3rd time now this week. I just heard it like walking back from the shop. It came on and I was like, no way, because I think I'd asked a question about your reading and that was the answer again, and I was like, Starman, oh my goodness. You know, it's like he wants to come and see us, but he thinks he'll blow our mind. Like they want to contact us. I know it's a very tinfoil hat. It's very, I'm not saying it was the aliens, but it was the aliens, right? But it's, yeah, it's like there's something up there, like the Anunnaki. I don't know what it is, right? It's just Starman energy. But again, it's like the sun, which is the source of light in our universe. Because you can't look directly at the sun, it's actually creating a blind spot. Because if you look directly at the sun, like it's going to hurt your eyes, right? So you can't look at it directly. You have to have special telescopes and things. So the message that I've been getting, and I don't want to freak anyone out here, all right? I'm not necessarily saying it's scary, but it's like there's something coming towards us and it's behind the sun. We can't see it because it's using the sun as camouflage, right? Because it knows that that's our blind spot. Again, don't want to scare anyone, just intuitive messages. It could turn out that it's like some kind of movie that's about to be released, or something that's going on in TV, or it could be just a metaphor for something else. But I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting because it's here in the cards. So what else am I getting? I'm getting stuff about, so with this is specific messages for you. So with this concept of like being actually made of the same stuff as the stars, like being like the physical body being made of stardust, I was also getting this image of Nyx, Nyx, who is the goddess of night in Greek mythology or Roman mythology, one or the other. And she's said to basically come in as, like there's depictions and paintings of her as like her body is like this blanket of stars. So it's like she brings in the cover of the stars, basically, is the way that she's depicted. So like pulling over a blanket over the sky, but it's her, like she is the blanket. So goddess of night, star blanket. It was also making me think of Hypnos, the god of sleep, who is the brother of Thanatos, god of death, which came through last week at the end of, I think it was at the end of the collective message where I was pulling the god and goddess cards. It like actually came out for me, Hypnos. So it's talking about, with them being brothers, Hypnos and Thanatos, it's talking about sleep being like death, right? And like I think Aquarius was getting our little lives rounded in asleep, which, what was it from in the end? I looked it up and I still can't remember what it's from. The Tempest. It was from The Tempest. Our little lives are rounded in asleep. So it's talking about how, for me, it's talking about the two realms, right? The physical gold realm of the 3D, the things that are tangible that we can touch, the pentacle realm, and the spirit realm, right? And how you can navigate the two through sleep. And then death is almost like a permanent, or maybe not permanent, but it's like the end of that cycle of being able to access that specific human body, and then being more in the other realm is the way it's coming through. So when you go to sleep, it's like a little death, right? It's like a little journey into the subconscious, perhaps, or the place beyond the veil, is the way it's coming through. I know I sound bonkers and crazy, but I'm just giving you the intuitive stuff that's coming through, right? In my day-to-day life, I'm reasonably normal. So where do I want to go next? I'm just going through all the intuitive messages, and then I'm going to specifically talk you through the cards and the story of the cards. So we had Genesis by Lipa. I've just asked for a randomised song to explain your reading, and we got Genesis. Like, I'm not making this up. I can't make this up. Literally the song that came through Genesis, and I'm talking about creation energy. And she says, God created heaven and earth. For what it's worth, I think he might have created you first. And it's just such a beautiful line. So I don't know if there's something in that for somebody. And also, when I got to this point, it's coming through with a line from a Wolf Alice song. Some half-human creature thing, can you bring life to anything? Which is a line from Silk by Wolf Alice, and this is a song from Trainspotting. And obviously the substance abuse that happens in that film. And so there is a message, and it could be for one of you, it could be for multiple of you, but with this thing about sleep and thanatos, which is death, it's these energies in Greek mythology could be seen as a blessing, because if you physically are in pain, or if your physical body, right, which has a shelf life, is no longer fit for purpose, thanatos and hypnos can come in as a relief. And if you think about, obviously all substances can be abused, and there may be somebody with a very difficult addiction, but there could also be somebody who that same medication, those same opiates can be also used to relieve pain and give somebody a comfortable death, right? A comfortable sleep. This recently happened with my cat. You know, she was, there was nothing they could do for her, so they gave her opiates so that she would pass away in her sleep comfortably. So it is a dark message, but it is a message that's coming through, and I want to tell you what's coming through, right? Because it could be a relief to somebody. And I'm not recommending it. So again, that film Trainspotting, there's that very famous line where they say, choose life. You know, if you have the option, choose life. If you have to be addicted to something, be addicted to something else. You know, if you're abusing substances. And I want to say that there is definitely that factor in this reading, because intuitively when I went into that sun energy and I was being wrapped by the gold silk, it felt like a trap, right? It was like comforting. It was like being wrapped in a blanket, but at the same time I was like, there's something not right about this. I need to escape this. So I do feel like there's a message in there for somebody. Perhaps you have a family member who's dealing with something where, you know, there's substances involved. Okay, right, to your reading. And I want to say that this is a pretty amazing reading, and I'm so excited to tell you this story. I'm just going to have a quick break and a drink of water, and then we'll get into it. Okay, Cancer. So I'm really excited to explain this story to you. So it feels like there's definitely at least 3 characters in this reading. I was getting a lot of 3s for you. Just intuitively, the number 3 kept on coming up, and then you actually have 2 cards with the number 3. So there's definitely something about 3. And it could be that it's 3 people or 3 characters or 3 energies. Now, I don't know who you are, which one you're dealing with, but I'll kind of explain what I'm getting through. So this character of the person who's been waiting has come through for a while. It's coming through in your reading as the statue energy. So this is going to be the statue, right? And it's here, which this card I feel like came through for Aries. It's got a slightly different meaning in your reading. It's here, which reminds me of the Buddha that came through in Taurus's reading. And it does feel like there's quite a Taurus-like energy coming through, especially kind of with the holy mountain. Taurus is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about traditional belief systems, patriarchal belief systems. So it's like the Sermon on the Mount or something like that, or Moses going up the hill, right? The holy mountain. So you have this person coming through here, 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 and also here. So you can see it's almost like a statue at the bottom. They are trying to figure something out, and it could be that you're this person trying to figure out something from the past, or trying to see something. And then there's this 3rd energy that's coming through as this almost like star being, right? It's coming through with this parrot and kind of this kind of energy. So it's this kind of almost like a child or a playful creative spirit is the way it's coming through. So I'll kind of run through and tell you what I'm getting. So your reading starts with water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness and rest. And it's also coming through with the 10 of fire. So the way the reading starts, and I just feel like this could be for you, but take it as it resonates, leave it. If it doesn't, it could be somebody around you. The 10 of fire, the 10 of wands is some kind of ending. It's something where you are releasing some kind of burdens or responsibilities. It's got this kind of coming home energy to it, where it's like, right, it's time to put your baggage down now. You've been on a long journey and now you get to rest. So the 9 of wands is like an ongoing battle, right? It's climbing the mountain. It's not giving up. But the 10 is the completion of whatever that difficult journey was. So something completing for you, and it's like you're now coming into this time where you need to rest and replenish, right? Nourish your body, do simple things, look after your body, look after your home, look after the small things, right? It's a time for being at home and resting, and like repairing your body, tending to your feelings, processing things, right? And washing it clean, letting it go. So you can see here the symbolism of kind of letting things go, right? This paperwork, these contracts are kind of burning away. It's the end of that phase. So resting and recovering after the end of that phase. So again, she is actually made of stars, which is the first thing that I noted for you. It's as soon as I started meditating on your energy, I felt like I was made of stars. Like, this is the visual I was given. So going back to source, going back to the beginning, right? If you think of that Dua Lipa song, going back to the beginning, going back to the start, going back to the source. Now, it could be something that you've been dealing with, and you're working through it emotionally perhaps, or you're thinking something through and you're like, let's trace this back to the beginning of this cycle. Let's remember who I was before I started this journey. Why did I go on this journey in the first place? What prompted me to do this? So you could be asking all these questions, like really looking back at the start of something and the whole journey in between, is the way it's coming through. The water symbolizes emotions, but there's something going on with the water because it reappears here, kind of being like half sat in the water, right? Half in your emotions, half in your head perhaps. But I want to say there is some distortion, and I'm seeing this again generally throughout the cards. This kind of distortion of something in the past is the way it's coming through, which I feel like you're trying to see here, but we'll get to that when we come to it. So here, the 10 of fire, normally it looks like she's the one doing this. It's like she's cast a spell to kind of burn away all these things she no longer needs. But in this reading, it's almost as though she's actually trying to grab hold of something, but it's turning to dust in a hand. So it's like that thing that was made of something solid returning to source, right? It's like it could be talking about like decomposition, right? When things like when a tree dies, it decomposes and it becomes nourishment for the roots of the other trees, you know, that kind of thing, like returning to source, returning to the earth. So it's like as she tries to grab it, it's turning to dust in a hand, but that dust is actually source material, right? It could be that you're writing a book and you think, I don't like this, I'm going to go back to the start, I'm going to rewrite this, I'm going to write it I'm going to rewrite it from the beginning, and I'm going to tell a different story, but I'm going to use what I've got so far. I'm going to use my notes, I'm going to use my source material, you know, writing an essay and being like, this essay isn't working, I'm going to go back to the start, back to my notes, back to the initial research and begin again, right? So it's a beginner's mind energy. But see, taking the stuff, right, taking the raw materials of whatever that was that's being removed or that you're walking away from. It could be that you're actively moving away from something, because we have the 6 of air here, which is moving away from something that was emotionally turbulent. It was something that was chaotic, difficult. It could be, you know, emotional conflict with family and things like this. And then it's moving on to calmer waters. So it does have this feeling of getting free, right? And I want to say you are moving quite quickly in a similar way to how I was shooting off, right? When I tried to be wrapped, again, it's like, maybe this is symbolizing trying to be wrapped in the gold, right? It's circling her, it's like trying to wrap her up. And then how I like very, very fast, like Sonic the Hedgehog fast, like darted out of that trap, right? And it could be like paperwork or something, like getting out of a contract or something, like, and going so fast that there's no chance of it catching up to you. It's like almost like this is it falling away almost. But there's something as well about getting caught up in the updraft, because you know, if you've ever seen like paper set on fire, sometimes the heat can make it lift and like fly up. So I'm also seeing this here with this specific seagull here. It's like it's been caught in the updraft, right? So almost like as something burns away, it's maybe having no choice, like even maybe being ejected from the situation, like being caught in the wind of the situation, where it's like you've got no other option but to go where life takes you. It could be something like that. It could also indicate a boat journey or travel across water. The Three of Earth talks about collaboration with other people. Today is coming through as searching for something, looking for something. You could be doing like family history or ancestry. I was doing this myself this week. So yeah, it's coming through as like it should be collaborative, or there should be other people involved, but you seem to be it's like you're searching for the others, you're searching for your team, you're searching for the people who are supposed to collaborate with you in some sort of way, and maybe they are in spirit, like you're searching for your soul tribe through astral projection or something like this, or searching through your ancestry records. It's got this lookout energy to it, the person who's waiting, which came through in the collective message and Aries' message. So it could be that these are two different energies, like this person's waiting, like and then this person's coming into them. So it could be like I don't know, this person could be like, come and work with me, and this person like gets out of a situation, like escapes from a situation, and this person's waiting for, I don't know, the plane to come in, the train to show up on the horizon, something like that. Yeah, so it's like, when will this person arrive? Possibly, but it could be missed. It could be something where you've missed the stop, right? You've missed the stop and you've kept on going. It does have this energy of something going past very quickly, which I'll come back to over there. So wolf spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. I do feel like there's something where you've learned from past experiences. Somebody's learned from past experiences. Somebody's learned from the things that are closing out, right? You've learned lessons, I want to say. But it's not just knowing, it's using that information wisely. So when you're faced with the same situations again, are you going to make the same choices, the same mistakes, possibly? Or are you going to do something different? Are you going to use the information that you have about maybe people's character, about what works for you and what doesn't work for you in terms of your life and your situation? And yeah, use it wisely. Now, what's making me laugh is because it's coming through not as this card, but as this card, which is some half human creature thing, half human creature. When your reading goes up on Thursday, I'm going to be excited because some of you might know that I play The Sims, and they're getting a werewolf game pack. So it's funny that the wolf is here, and this is coming through with a half creature thing. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that in there because it made me laugh. And yeah, really excited to get my hands on that that pack, the wolf pack, right? So turn knowledge into wisdom, the smoky mirror. So this again is talking about meditating perhaps, or being very still. It's talking about like ancestry as well, like this card. So again, this kind of like Taurus energy coming through. Nobody has to be a Taurus, but it's like the energy of Taurus is this kind of ancestors, like cultural traditions that are passed down to us, things like religion or belief systems and things like this. So it's like, sorry about the sirens. It's a really warm, muggy day, and I can't bear to have my windows shut. So the perk of that is we get the nice bird noises. The not so great perk of that is that we get ambulances flying up and down the main road. So I hope everybody's okay. Let's send them healing energy, right? But yeah, so you can see how this person is working with the gold in a similar way to how I was working with the light and the dark and the gold, right? In the meditation to play with it to see what I could create, but also knowing when to get out of a situation and when to hide in the darkness. So it's like this person here seems to have also tapped into the potential to create, but it's like they're not noticing the thing that's lurking in the dark, because it's, if I just show you these 3 cards, can you see it's like they're really focused on the light energy, they're really focused on discovery, they're really focused on, it's like using, it's the way it's coming through is like they're using the gold energy, the surface of the sun, this thing that can be the gold dust that can be manipulated to be able to see something. It's like they're trying to clarify something or discover something or make something visible with the light and the gold, because again the light is like source, and the light makes things visible, but you can't see light. You can only see light when it's reflected off something. So it's like the gold is being used to, it's like they're mixing it in the water to make something so that the light can bounce off it. It kind of makes me think of, like, if you've ever watched the film Invisible Man with Elizabeth something. It's a really good film, definitely watch it if you haven't already seen it. I think it's on Netflix now, or yeah, I think it's on Netflix, The Invisible Man. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but there is a scene where obviously he's invisible, but he's physical, right? You can touch him. She coats him in a substance, and because he's coated in the substance, he becomes visible. So it's the same thing. It's like there's something there. It's just not visible until the light has something to bounce back off. Does that make any sense? So it's like somebody working with this light energy, the light and the gold energy, right? The light and the physical, to try and make something visible. And it's like they're very, very focused on what they're doing. They're very focused on the task, right? The mission that they've created for themselves. They really want to, right? Because remember, they're watching out for something. They really want to be able to see this thing. But it's like, yes, their power is growing because this light is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It's like the sun is moving closer. They are harnessing this power. They are getting stronger at doing this. But what they don't see is that, can you see it's so faintly here? Because it's in the blind spot, right? It's hiding behind the thing that they can't look at. It's like this is coming through almost as a threat, right? Almost as a danger. This black energy, so the Death Star, right? It's like they're not aware of the Death Star growing nearer because they're so task focused, and they're so they're only like the white light, the sun is so powerful and distracting or camouflaging. There's a lot of camouflage in this reading. It's very, very curious. So I want to say, so again, it's like this thing in the water is very blurry. It's like they're aware of its presence. I do feel like it feels a lot like the collective reading, where it's like calling out to something and sensing that something's there, but it doesn't come visible until the last second, and even then it's just the eyes, right? It's just the mask that they're able to see. And this figure here seems to think that it's something in the water. It's like, for them, it's something, again, like the collective reading, right? It was the thing down the well that they would, go and watch that if you haven't seen it. Like the thing in the well. So it's like hearing the call of this thing and being like, I need to shine a light down there to be able to see it. And very, very focused on that. But not seeing the person creeping up behind you is also going to push you in the well. So, yeah, so like using this gold dust, mixing it into the water with the hopes of it refracting the light, and this thing coming into focus. And I want to say it's just starting to come into focus for you. So again, it could be something, you looking back at your own past, right? You trying to, it could be you trying to pull in a memory of something, like to remember something clearly because it's distorted, it's not clear, and you're trying to really see this thing clearly. You're trying to really, but it's coming through as another person. It's not coming through as you, it's coming through as, I mean, it could be a reflection of the self, right? Your younger self or something, but it's coming through like being aware of somebody else, like being aware of a presence, but not quite knowing perhaps who it is, or not quite having the confirmation of the identity or something like that. Again, perhaps with ancestry. So, yeah, the Holy Mountain then, and this energy here. So these came out like this together. And as I say, it's like, you see all these like bits of gold dust floating around him here. So it's like, really like being so hyper focused on the task, like being so focused, like almost like cutting yourself out because you're so focused on like the size of this energy, like your power growing, and like this thing just starting to become visible. Can you see with the gold? It's like it's just starting. You're just starting to actually capture a glimpse of it. Very similar to the end of the intuitive message, the collective message on Sunday. So it's like as it starts to become visible, right? As you start to recognize what this Three of Cups is coming through, the Three of Cups. So somebody in your community, a friend, perhaps somebody, a soulmate who has passed over, and maybe actually starting to see and understand their struggle, like understand that they were also. And again, it's like there's three of you though, right? There should be three energies. So I want to say there's an opportunity to collaborate with this energy, because the Three of Earth is like, there should be three people involved, but they're doing it alone. And here with the Three of Cups, it's like there should be three people involved in these emotional waters, but this person's trying to carry these three cups on their own. So I feel like there's an opportunity to kind of almost join forces, right? Or share the burdens, like share the workload in some sort of way, something like that. It's almost like three witches, I kind of want to say. So yeah, like super hyper focused about doing this, about drawing this energy down, about putting the gold in the water so that, you know, if anything swims through the water, it's going to become visible. You could think about, I'm just kind of thinking like how that works. You know how like sometimes you, oh right, so say you were, I've got to go for a scan actually at the hospital. I wonder if it's going to be something I have to do. Like sometimes if you're going for some sort of scan at the hospital, because they use different like lasers and lights and you know, different x-rays and things to see what's in your body, sometimes you're asked to drink liquids first so that that liquid goes into your body and it goes around your system, and they can see really clearly on the scans what's going on in your digestive system, right? Or like, I don't know, putting something into your blood so they can see your veins really well. So it reminds me of that. It's like putting something in the water to see, so for something, to see if something shows up in the water, right? And it's like something's showing up. I hope nothing's showing up in my waters. Okay, so then it's like hyper focused on doing this thing. I just love this story so much because we're about to get to my favorite energy. So hyper focused, so you and this other, right? Hyper focused on this, not aware that this basically a threat. Like as you're pulling in the sun energy, this thing is, it's like it's seeing you. It's seeing, because you're using so much power, right? Because you are working with the light, you're becoming very visible to this dark energy, which is coming through with a little bit of a, it's not necessarily a threat, because I feel like I encountered this energy later in the meditation. It's like it's not actually doing any harm, but it could be something that you don't want to draw the attention of, right? So it could be like you know, a friend who always wants something from you, and it's like, okay, well, you know, it's all right if they do notice me, but maybe I don't want to actively draw attention to me because then they're going to ask me for a favor. Could be something like that, but it's coming through this, like, you're drawing it because that energy is so big, like the energy that you're working with, the light is so big, you're very visible to it, which is attracting its attention because it's like it's growing, right? It's coming in with the, as the sun grows. And then it's like completely by chance, like complete accident, and this is my favorite bit of this reading, this thing breaks through. So it's almost like you've got a laser, right? You've got a laser on whatever this is, like all the energy, all the light is like a laser beam focused on seeing this, and then it's like this thing just flashes before your eyes, and it breaks the laser, it breaks the light. And so because it breaks through the light source, I need to stop doing that gesture, because it breaks through the light source, right? It's like, it's almost like it acts as a prism or something. It breaks the light, and makes all these colors show up. So it's so interesting to me how this is working. I mean, it could be this, it could be this energy suddenly coming through, but I think it's a different energy, because it's like this is the light beam and this comes through it. And as it comes through it, it's like all of a sudden just being dazzled by this sudden rainbow, like this refraction of rainbow colours. And so it's coming through as almost like the cat in Gemini's reading. It's like an immature, childish, uncontrollable, fun, fast energy. So it's like it's like, imagine that you were, I don't know, you were painting a mosaic on the floor, right? You had a big canvas on the floor, you had all your paints out on the floor, and you were painting something. And then this kid just runs in and they run right, not only across your canvas, smearing everything, but they upset all your paints. There's paint everywhere, right? But it's like they've gone, they're off, they're running, they've continued running. It's like that. It's like, it's just, it doesn't mean any harm. It's just playful. So this came through in Taurus's reading with this energy of like, it's just fun. Like it came through as like a group of people and possibly like LBGQT, like an a group of people, right? But they were just running through the streets and it was like they were just having fun and they were just carefree and there was so much love. It's like super high vibrational, like they didn't mean any harm, but when they encountered you, it was like a colourful whirlwind, right? A very similar energy to that. And it kind of makes me think of a cat as well. So like, say you were painting and, you know, the cat just darts in out of nowhere, like upsets all the paints and darts off and there's like paw prints all around your floors. It's that kind of energy. It's just this force, this absolute like Tasmanian devil of a creature, this half human creature thing, right? Just like interrupting whatever it was you were hyper focused on, and just, it's like colour everywhere. And it's like that thing is gone, right? As fast as it came in, it's already gone. So you're, because this is the statue, it's like trying to call it back, you know, like the kid or the cat that's like ran through the paint and upset everything and ran off. And you're like, what was that? What was that? Like, come back here, because it's like you're fixed, right? It's not easy for somebody to, you know, get down from that mountain. It's kind of, you're stuck where you are. It's like a bird flew past you, so you can't follow it because it's, you know, this. I mean, I want to say you can fly. You've got wings. Maybe it's teaching you how to fly, right? It's making you aware that you've got wings, that you want to go wherever this has gone. It's like that's your calling, right? Because it's the Judgment card. It's like, so it's just, when people are walking past, they're going to think, what is she talking about? It's like the Judgment card. So it's like, that's your calling. That's where you need to go next. That's where the fun is. That's where, you know, that colourful thing that's got your attention. It's like, that's where you're meant to go. You're meant to follow it. So maybe it's making you aware that you've also got wings. You can also fly. You can also play around in the stars, is the way it's coming through. Very, very cool. Very cool. But yeah, at first it's like you're just trying to call it back in, but it came through in the reading like you can't call it back in because you've got this card here, wait, it's not yet time, things are being woven. It's like, it's a very, very young, playful energy. It doesn't have to be a young person as well, it could be an older person, but it's like this youth energy, or this, you know, like the cat energy. It's just this absolute whirlwind of light and colour and playfulness and fun and you know, complete disregard for what you were doing. But it's also kind of saying like, it's also kind of saying like, because you were aware perhaps, so there's different things that happen in this moment. It's like a big pivotal moment. So not only does it break your concentration, it also disrupts whatever this was. So I want to say it could be that this thing has been looking for this thing. So as this flies through, because in my meditation, basically, I was trying to avoid drawing the attention of this thing, right? I didn't want this thing to notice me. I was hiding from it. I was camouflaging, right? Like this. And I was darting around space basically very, very fast. So it's almost as though, because you were working with this light, this thing is, you're drawing in its attention, right? It's coming in, looking at you. You have no awareness of this. And again, I don't know who you are, so flip it and reverse it if need to be. But it's like when this thing comes through, it's like that flash of colour is very attention grabbing. So completely by accident, this thing probably didn't want to draw attention to itself. So as it darts off, it's like this thing perhaps follows it, right? So it's not, this thing is no longer a threat to you. It's like the attention of this thing is now on this. So it's like instead of coming in for you, which is quite threatening because you're not aware of it, it's like it's now chasing this thing. But this thing is like fast, you know, it's like it'll be fine. It's the way it's coming through. So what else is happening? And this thing, this half human creature thing, it also has more stuff that you're not aware of. So you were only working with the sun energy, right? The white and the gold. This thing is coming in with this bonus thing here. So that's like, it's almost like that's part of its energy. And then there's even like two more, it's quite hard to see, but there's two more things attached. And it's like here, it's almost like you were completely unaware of this because it was hidden. But because it's gone through your, like, almost like your gold beams, right? Your gold dust that you've been sprinkling down. It's like suddenly there's just a hint of the presence of these other things as well. So you've actually, this thing that just flew through your life like a flash, it's kind of brought more stuff into your awareness and taken away some of this threat. So I want to say it's very, very positive, whatever it is. And then it's like, it's gone, right? It's too late. It's so fast. It's already gone. It's back up in outer space somewhere, right? It's playing with the stardust again. It's busy playing with the stardust. So if you're trying to call it back, it's for now at least, it's gone. It's out in the atmosphere somewhere. And then you have this stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Again, it's like it's just saying that this is that energy. It's just sat there playing, right? Where you were playing with the gold, which is like the tangible, the reality, the 3D stuff. This energy has been playing with the stardust and the creation energy. It's like they are literally creating stuff. But at the same time, and this is the most beautiful message, let me just make sure I get the wording right. So the message that came through, and I literally heard it, so it won't be coming back anytime soon. It's too busy exploring and colouring in the sky for you. Which, oh my heart, it's like you're trying to call this thing in, you're like, where has this thing gone? Why won't it come back? It's like, because it's busy, because it's painting the sky for you, right? It's taking that rainbow energy and it's colouring in the sky for you. It's like so that you can also find your way. Like you can also, it's like showing you, because it's like you have some power, I want to say. If this is you, Cancer, and that's the way it's coming through, it's like you do have some power, you do have manifestation abilities, but this is making you aware that there's more tools available to you, right? There's more that you can do. So again, it's like you're not even aware that you have wings yet, because like here they were tiny, right? They were teeny tiny here, and here they're like much bigger. So it's like it's teaching you how to fly. It's teaching you how to astrally project. It's almost like it's like you can follow the colours is the way it's coming through. Like now that you're aware that this energetic signature exists, right? Now you know what it's made of. You can track it, you can follow it, right? You can go in search of the things that were previously unknown to you. So it's such a cool reading. And even on the underline of this deck, like just the similarity here of like the standing stones and all this statue energy and this weights card. This also says trust the timing, trust the wave that you came in on. Time is not running out. And it's quite hard to see because the colors are subtle, but it's like the sky is painted with all these rainbow colors. So I don't know if you're going to see like an aurora borealis. I don't know if you're going to experience, like when I had my spiritual awakening, which always sounds really like silly when I say it. It's like pretentious whenever it comes out of my mouth. I hate hearing myself say it. But when I had my spiritual awakening, when like my psychic abilities woke up and I realized the universe was talking to me and things like this, I remember looking at the sky and being like, the sky has never looked like that before. It's like I fell asleep in the boring 3D reality of the everyday world, and I woke up in a different, like on a different like plane of existence where everything was kind of the same, but it was like I was viewing the world in HD for the first time. A bit like if you've got bad eyesight and you ever put glasses on and like everything suddenly comes into like focus and it's like the colours are richer and everything's sharper. It was like that. And it's like I was looking at the sky and thinking that I didn't know that the sky could be this beautiful. I didn't know. It really was like a fairy tale sky. Like, I can't believe that this is real, kind of thing, was how I experienced it. So again, I don't know if you're about to have a bit of a spiritual awakening, and you can have lots of spiritual awakenings, right, as well. It's not even like one thing, it's like leveling up. So it's like you're getting an energetic upgrade where you're going to be able to see stuff that wasn't visible to you in the past, is the way it's coming through. All right, so long reading, but one of my favorites from this set of readings. I love whatever this energy is, just my favorite energy at the moment. It keeps kind of coming through a little bit in different ways. So like Taurus's reading, if you want to watch that, it was like a group of kids who just were like running through the streets, and it was just so playful and happy, and like so full of love. It was kind of coming through with Gemini as like it being Gemini. Like Gemini is the playful cat. Like Gemini is this cat with all the paint's making a mess. So, but it doesn't have to be a Gemini, right? It's just the energy and the way it's coming through. So it's also coming through with Sagittarius and Libra. Sagittarius, because they are the ones that, like, my daughter was a Sagittarius child, and she was the one who would just be chasing a butterfly and she'd run straight through the paint, you know, like completely focused on whatever it was she was chasing, not a care in the world that she'd made a massive colourful mess. You know, that was my daughter. So Sagittarius and Libra, because Libra's been coming through with and again, I'm a Libra. Libra's been coming through with a lot of camouflage energy recently, about knowing how to camouflage, knowing how to blend in, almost like knowing how to be part of the wallpaper. So coming through with chameleon, lizard and octopus energy. All right, I hope that was helpful. Do go and look in the description box down below for wait for the ambulance to go past again. Do go and look in the description box down below for the songs that are coming through for your reading. So I've mentioned a few of them during the reading, so you can go and check those out if you want a reminder. And there'll be a few bonus songs down there as well. So hopefully there'll be something in there that's going to give you like a little bit of an epiphany, a little bit of clarity, and a little bit of guidance as well about what to do next. But as always, follow your own intuition, and yeah, wishing you all the best, Cancer. This is looking really good. You do feel like you're going through a energetic upgrade and a learning phase. So yeah, it's like not even interested in whatever this was anymore. It's like I want to go and chase that. All right, do take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.